What? What up, y'all? No, I just saw Fred in the corner of my eye. I had to put his shades on.
And you got distracted.
I did. What's up, y'all?
Oh, country self.
No, just a little bit. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Tap In. We got Fred. We have a stand-in for a short period. Mr. R.L. Martin here from Maricas. Maricas is running just a little late, but he'll be here. So
I was gonna cover up for him. You didn't have to put him on blast. I was just gonna.
I did.
But since she did,
I
yeah,
did.
he late. You know, it's too late now, man.
I mean, look, you running previous engagements. He's still running late, but
Well, hold on. Why the hell you here then?
I
don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear. We don't want to hear the RL, man. We got it, dog. We got it.
look, the closer the season gets, let me tell y'all, Ducks is just y'all starting to become. We starting to become enemies.
I envy Craig doing this. Being this our first season, I'm like, we got all of this stuff we got to do.
Man,
Take care of. Then we got parents.
it's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yes, ma'am.
Parents,
Hey, you got to get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all got a good group over there, man.
Yeah, y'all will be
y'all,
fine.
y'all definitely gonna make it happen.
Yeah, y'all are good.
And you'll probably have a lot more gray hair. You know,
Ooh.
by the
You got the
time
retarded
the
mic today.
season starts. So
By the time the season starts, yes.
And then by the time it ends,
by the time
I've been getting friends died by then.
by the time the season, he gonna look like Uncle Ben over there.
Yeah, for real.
I promise you won't want to go into spring.
Kids will have a good time. I guarantee that.
They will. Y'all be good.
Well, I tell you what, while we have you on here, right, there was something very important that you wanted to share with our audience in regard to sorority athletics.
Very, very, very important. The brother is fraternity. Our sister is sorority. Sorority is about the female athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And just yesterday, I just got off the phone with a representative from Hope Through Football and the NFL. Sorority Athletics is going to be partnering with Hope Through Football and Rod Woodson and the NFL Flag League to bring the first all-girls flag league to San Antonio area.
Oh, nice.
That will start off in the fall.
Gotcha. Now, just real quick, Lala, if it's possible, can you run that flyer for us? That way our audience can see what Rob was talking about. I'm sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to, like I said, it's going to be all girls, ages from pre-K to 8th grade, and I want it to specialize with the high school girls, because now I don't know if everybody's familiar. The NIA especially is giving out college scholarships for girls to play flag football.
Okay.
So we're going to specialize in 15U and 17U girls flag football. And with the connections that we already have, we're going to get eyes on these high school girls for another opportunity to go to college and have it paid for.
It's amazing, man.
It's amazing.
But, yeah, that's a baby that we've been working on. And it was supposed to kick off in June, and I was like, nope, we got to do it the right way. I don't want it rushed. I want the proper people. And Rod Woodson and his group, shout out to Matt Osborne as well, with Hope Through Football. They're nationwide with what they're doing with the Flag League, so they're actually going to be hosting the league here for us. So everything will be run right, run up to standard with the rest of the country.
Okay. Well, I mean, if there are people that want to get more information, how can they go about doing that?
Please, if you want the information on the league, it's posted. It is on Fraternity Athletics on Facebook. There is a Instagram and Twitter we set up for Sorority Athletics. Instagram is sorority_athletics_. And the Twitter is Soro Athletics. That's on Twitter. And just DM us at either one of those. We'll get the information to you. We're shooting right now. I've got a meeting with them next week. But the target date for the start is a meet and greet, and that'll be August 19th. And one other thing, the catch for it is, we know here in Texas, sports is big.
Right.
So you've got, right there at that time, you have volleyball. So volleyball is real big. The thing that we're going to do is this is going to be 1 day a week. We're going to do it on Sunday afternoons. The girls will show up an hour and a half before their game time. They'll practice for an hour. They'll get a 30-minute break, and then they'll play their game. Then they're done.
Okay.
So we're not taking up a full day of 2 and 3 and 4 games. We'll just run it through there. It's going to be a 7-week schedule, and it will end October 22nd.
Absolutely amazing. And for those of you that are tapped in with us, it's very important that you guys understand this is you guys are partnered with the NFL.
Yes.
So this is a major deal. This ain't just something that somebody just fly by night just threw together, whatever. This is something that is in partnership with the National Football League.
Correct.
It's a big deal.
They do have other leagues here in San Antonio that are NFL flag, but we are the only one that is all female.
Pop your collar, dog.
Only one.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I do have a question for you.
What you got? Oh, hell, you got that look. You want to come coach? Yeah.
No,
man.
I don't want to coach I don't want to coach female football, man. Texas is Legacy, you know what I'm talking about. Should I ask it, man, or not? Yeah. You think I can get away with asking what I'm asking?
Just ask the damn question. Ask the question.
I'm trying to build up the suspense.
I'm trying to sit here and wonder what the hell you're talking about. Ask the damn question.
What is he going to say?
Yeah, you got to give him that.
Now, the question is this exclusively for females? I got to ask that, man. Look, listen, is somebody out there right now asking? I have a child that identifies as a female. Are they allowed to participate?
This is exclusively for females. Go buy your birth certificate.
Okay.
I'm going to say it that way.
How
because
you came into this world.
Right.
Got
Right.
it.
And the reason being is I have not heard anything from the NFL flag or Hope Through Football, but as far as their other leagues that they do have, which is predominant in Florida, Wyoming, Utah, stuff like that, Colorado, females is all female.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that was clarification with that, man.
It's a legitimate question.
As of 2023,
Right.
That's a great question.
Right.
Don't shoot the messenger now. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Good
just,
question.
You the messenger.
Good
Hush.
question.
I just wanted to be clear on that, man. So, once again, he's provided all of the contact information. So, if you are interested in your daughter participating in this league, reach out to Sorority Athletics by way of fraternity athletics.
Right.
All right, to get that information.
We are Sorority Athletics is on Instagram and Twitter. Like I said, that information is there as well. Y'all can DM and that's there. It is not just for San Antonio area. I want to say that too. As far as I'll say Kyle, all the way down to we've already had a camp in Victoria. There's a big interest for it down in that area, so we'll be going down toward the Corpus area, Rio Grande Valley as well. I sent a lot of messages out, so just to let everybody know, like I said, it's only 1 day. They'll play their games on Sundays. So anybody that's, interested in that, you have a girl who is ready to play football. Like I was just talking to a lady just the other day. She was scared for her girl to play tackle football. And she heard about this, and she's ready to sign up and pay already.
Oh, but
was
let
like,
me
oh,
tell
wait,
you,
wait.
the way some of these girls play.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Well, now they have that outlet. They can come and play flag football.
Right.
Right. And it's not the co-ed like the other leagues are. This is strictly for all girls.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good stuff, man.
Appreciate that.
While we're on the subject of NFL, you guys been staying in tune with Dion Sanders and how you felt about the NFL draft in regard to HBCUs?
I've heard a little bit of it.
Yeah, I did. I heard a little bit.
What are y'all thoughts on that?
Well, you tell us exactly, because like I said, I heard a little bit.
Go
of
ahead,
it.
yeah,
So,
go ahead, break it down.
Tell
for
us,
people
break
that
it
may not have
down.
seen any of it
Exactly.
at all, 'cause
Okay, so as most of you guys know, man, I am a big time Dion Sanders supporter, right? And I think this guy is a role model. I think he's lived his life the right way, especially being, athlete and celebrity status. But I think he got this one wrong.
Oh, really?
His opinion was that of the NFL is like they're discriminating against HBCUs, right? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it at all, right? Because 78% of the kids that get drafted, the players that get drafted, are black.
Right.
So I don't understand how you can discriminate against, how the NFL can discriminate against HBCUs but still draft 78% of his players of African origin or of just being black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wait,
now,
so he's saying that basically the players that are coming from the HBCUs that enter the draft are not being picked up, or that's just
Basically,
not...
those that were eligible and have the talent from what people see to play in the NFL are not being drafted.
So this draft, how many people got drafted from an HBCU?
one.
And he thinks that the NFL is saying that each team is saying, oh, not you because you're from an HBCU.
You're from an HBCU. Right. Now, what I will say is this. Historically, all right, some of the greatest players in the NFL have come from HBCUs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But is that because they went to HBCU and then they transferred to a
No.
D1 school, or they just came directly from HBCU?
Well, my favorite player of all time is Jerry Rice. All right. San Francisco 49ers, he came from an HBCU, and he is arguably the greatest football player that ever graced a football field.
Right.
Right? So there's definitely talent at HBCUs, but I don't think that the NFL is doing anything intentionally to stop teams from going after kids from HBCUs.
Not at all.
NFL, these guys want to win.
Right.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
go for the top players.
I do feel as if Dion, because he was at an HBCU, his heart is in the right place. He wants to bring more attention to these kids because these kids really deserve better. Once again, man, I played college football. When I went to Southwest Texas, which is Texas State now, the facilities were decent facilities. I've gone to, and this was back in 93, between 93 and 97. Legacy Pool and Kevin Hart. Damn. Hey, bro, so are you discriminating on me because of my age, dog? Huh? Come on, man. See, Legacy, you produce off camera, man. Dog, you
Might as well
man.
said you had on a leather helmet.
I'm like, come on, man. God damn. God. Hey, you get me all sensitive over here now, man. Anyway.
Wait, so you say you
Back when I played college ball.
In 93?
93 and 97. All right? I'm 48 years old, man. Look, hey, I'm proud of my age. I ain't gonna be like these other guys,
was in college in 93?
I graduated from high school in 93.
Oh,
I went directly to college. I didn't get a vacation year like these kids do now. They get to go see the world. I took my ass straight to school, right? Anyway.
Yes, keep going.
Back in 93,
God bless.
the facilities that, I was accustomed to
HBCUs,
were pretty decent facilities. I've gone to some HBCUs
Oh,
in 2022
my gosh.
And they're horrible.
that are freaking horrible.
Yeah, and they've talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm telling you now is this. I agree with Dion that these kids deserve better, but, at the same time, we can't be mad at the NFL when we're not even promoting getting these HBCUs on track.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I just, like I said, as much as I admire Dion Sanders, I just think he got this one wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I have to just stop you. Let me tell you, everybody in the comments is just going
going
off
off
about
on
you
you,
going
dog.
93.
They going off on
That's
you,
cool,
dog.
baby. Hey, I tell folks this all the time. Listen, I truly feel like the older I've gotten, the better my life has gotten. You know what I'm saying? So some of y'all right now, You know what I'm saying? Young. Hey, what's that old saying? You just young, dumb, and full of you know what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all better get y'all some knowledge and some wisdom. As you get older, one day y'all gonna appreciate
Right.
being able to be this age.
Look.
And Tori just keep laughing like, what
People
else?
just keep saying, look, somebody, Carmen said she was 6 when Fred graduated. Carl said he was class of 2000.
Carl ain't too far behind.
Okay, so Jeremiah, damn, 93, I wasn't even born yet. James said he was 1 year old.
Jeremiah, if you wasn't born yet, hey, man, if you wasn't born yet, man, you better ask your mama about me, dog.
Oh, no.
Hey, I'm just playing, Jeremiah. Don't take no offense. I was just joking, dog. Don't come hunt me down now. Definitely don't ask your mama about me. Don't ask your mama about me.
But
Okay, I'm so sorry to
that,
cut you off.
On that Dion thing, Fred, you hit it on the head. I have to agree with you. I did not agree with what he said, but I look at it on I guess I'm going to turn the page on that because just like you said, the facilities at the HBCUs, I was privileged enough to go on a tour where we actually went to a couple of them, and it was just so bad, the facilities. But also with that, now, mind you, that one kid that did get drafted was from Jackson State, and he deserved it.
Okay.
He stood out head and shoulders above everybody else. With that being said, do you think, and I pose this question to y'all, do you think that the talent is so diminished at the HBCUs to where the ones that are there now are not getting a fair shot to be in the NFL? Now, me personally, I think that's the case. You have great talent at HBCUs, but we know it's all maybe 2% of all college players get to go to the NFL.
Right. So it's already a small percentage.
It's already a small percentage.
Over all colleges.
Now, you look at SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, the talent that's in those conferences compared to what the talent is playing in HBCUs. You got some great players over there, but as a scout from those colleges, they're going to go not to say that they're seen more, because these schools, believe me, they get all the tape from everywhere. They can find any player.
Well, I don't know. Dion
anywhere.
just got accused of not sending people tapes.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
We'll talk about that later. Go ahead, man. My bad.
They put him on blast for that too. But their talent is seen. They have scouting, recruiting, and everything else. Well, scouting divisions at all of these NFL teams where they see all the tape from every school.
Right.
They know where all the talent is. They look at all the stats and see who's leading and rushing in the HBCUs. They can see all of that, who's leading and tackling and all of that. And then you look at the caliber of that player in a totality.
Right.
And it just it's
Doesn't
not matching
up.
It's not measuring up with what you can find at a SEC or a Pac-10 or something like that.
Okay. So here's my take on it. Talent is talent. You know, whether it's at a HBCU, whether it's a PWI, you know, whatever. I don't think that a lot of these kids at the HBCUs get the exposure that some of these other kids get because they're not on national TV.
Right.
You know, they don't have these big network deals. You know, they don't get a chance to play in front of crowds of 100,000 folks, so that they're household names. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when you put these guys in these combines, you know, when they get a chance to perform, you know, right next to some of these household names, they do a great job. But once again, the NFL is a business, you know, and if you don't have the resources in front of you to, what you keep smiling like that for, man? You throwing my concentration off, man. Anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
They still got jokes, so I ain't even looking at the comments no more, man. I'm trying to get my focus on right now, man. I got some good stuff I need to say, man. All right, so.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Tori like that bad kid in class. You know, you trying to say your report.
That was me.
and she keeps sniggling and stuff.
I'm listening. Go ahead. I apologize.
That Ricky Smiley say, what's all that sniggling going on over there? Anyway,
that's
so
your time too.
A lot of these kids a lot of these schools don't have the resources necessary to really put those players out there. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, you know, but even some of these kids that end up at some of these HBCUs, that's really for a lot of those kids. That's not their first choice.
Right.
It's not their first choice, man, and that sucks. You know, whether it be maybe grades, whether it may be bad decisions, and I'm trust me, I'm not trying to say that's the only reason why kids go to HBCUs.
I was just about to say,
I'm not
because you're
saying
skirting that line right now.
No, what I'm saying is when you start looking at 5-star athletes, 4-star athletes, they can pick any college in the country to go to. Most of those guys are going to the SEC. You know, they're going to these big-time programs. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that they have the weight rooms, they have the resources, they have the nutritionists, they have all the science that's needed to help these guys prepare to go play at the next level and make millions of dollars. HBCUs traditionally don't have that. Even as much as Dion tried to do at Jackson State,
Right.
come on, man, this guy had to come out of his own pocket
Yep.
and ask his friends to support him in getting the facilities improved. And even then, they still weren't up to par with some of the worst PWI, primarily white institutions.
And
You know
what
I'm
you
saying?
just said, they're not up to par with the other schools, but the drastic change and how it improved from the little bit that he could do
Right,
was just phenomenal. And they still weren't up to par.
right.
So imagine how much work has to be done at a HBCU.
I was going to say, I don't
Right.
think any HBCU is ever going to, and I hate to say that because I went to HBCU, but I don't ever think that it's
Which
going to.
HBCU you go to?
Houston Tillotson.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think that. Why is that a shocker? No, but I don't think they're ever going to. I hate to say, measure up to these PWI. Like it's just not going to happen. Paris, she had said, the funding isn't there. We know that.
Yeah.
It's a black college. Carmen said that they'll usually be scouted by leagues like the XFL before the NFL. That's just, what it is. I don't think
So-
it's gonna. I don't think that's ever gonna change.
So when you say they won't measure up, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, right? But what I think, because I don't want people to misunderstand what you're saying, they don't measure up athletically, because a lot of these HBCUs, when it comes to academics, these are top-notch institutions. You know, you start talking about Morehouse, Spelman, you start getting
Right.
into Bethune-Cookman, some of these schools, when it comes to academics, they're top-notch, man. You got a lot of successful, black
Absolutely.
folks that have graduated from HBCUs. So I don't want anybody out there listening to think that we're saying that HBCUs are
It's
inferior.
less than, exactly. No, not
but
at all.
when it comes to the athletic playing field, they don't have the resources.
Right.
And I think that is primarily the reason why that the NFL doesn't draft as many of these kids, is because they just don't have the resources to really get those kids out there. We live in a society nowadays where it's basically people want to see everything. So if you don't have any games on national TV, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have access to the best videographers to record your games and stuff like that, it's like, come on, man, like, word of mouth just ain't gonna cut it no more. But that's just my opinion. So like I said, I admire the hell out of Dion. I think he's doing a great job. He's done a great job at every level of football that he's been on. Even when Dion was coaching Little League football, man, he always put his best foot forward. And I think he did the same thing at Jackson State, and I think he's doing the same thing at Colorado. But I just don't want. I just don't think that his analysis on the NFL, like discriminating against HBCUs, is on point. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I agree with that. I don't think he was on point with it. And to the fact that you say a lot of people will look at it differently because the actual player didn't come from an HBCU. But
Right.
how many black athletes were drafted?
Right.
We got to look at that. I'm like, it is what it is.
Right. Well, hopefully in the future, man, with all of the awareness that's being brought to HBCUs, maybe we can change the tide on that. You know what I'm saying?
But how do we start that? Let me ask you that question. How do we start that? to me, it's got to start with the high school athletes. In order for that to happen, just like it had been in the past couple of years and then it kind of died off, you've got to get some of these big-name coaches to recruit some of these big-name players, and those big-name players actually play, just like Dion did.
Right.
Some of those big-name players actually play at a HBCU. Then what do you get? You get ESPN covering the game. When's the last time Jackson State was covered before Dion was there?
Well, I'm going to say this because I don't think it has anything to do with the coaches or the players. I think it has everything to do with the institution.
Yes.
If you build it, they will come. You know what I'm saying? If you build a state-of-the-art HBCU and you go after the best of the best, and you say, look, hey, man, this is for you. This is by you, for you. You know, bring all that talent here. You know, man, we can't disregard the fact that, you know, black people built this goddamn country. Our intelligence, you know what I'm saying? Like, we you know, there's a lot of inventions that we don't get credit for that we came up with. So the intellectual side of it, man, is there. You know, there are a lot of young black students out there that could take those talents to an HBCU, but at the same time, we're all parents. Would you send your kid to a place that, you know, shit, you know, you can't even flush a toilet without, you know, flooding the goddamn bathroom? You know, the technology is old. You know, we want the best for our kids. We do the same thing with elementaries, middle school, high schools.
And
we want our
private
kids to go to the
school.
best goddamn schools that they can go to in the city. You know, we don't give a damn if they all black. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I want my kid, I want my sons, I want my children to be around people that look like them, but not if it's going to be a detriment to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, my kids go to school to learn. You know what I'm saying? So I want them to learn from the best. You know what I'm saying? So I think when we start putting the emphasis on HBCUs and saying, you know what, it's time for us to quit acting second rate. It's time for us to quit acting inferior and put the money where it's at, man. There's enough black billionaires in this country
It is.
to pull their money together to put something together for us.
And how many of them are alumni of the HBCU?
Y'all, we having a whole
State-
conversation
yeah.
on live. Like,
Yes.
Carmen had said, institutions need to put some effort into their sports programs in order to get the recognition as well. Stacy asked the question,
question.
yeah, the funding for college programs, does that traditionally come from the alumni? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes,
the
it
alumni
does.
need to
The
give
alumni,
back.
yes,
Yeah.
the alumni are
Empty those
basically,
pockets out,
yep.
man.
I will not say the school, but when I went to the school,
Say it.
the coaches, and I talked to 3 of them, the coaches called out the alumni.
Yeah.
They don't give back.
Yep. Priest had said, could it possibly be that HBCUs choose to prioritize putting their funding towards education rather than sports to shift the narrative and get rid of the stereotype that black people can only be successful playing sports and can't be successful in the boardroom?
I say on that no, because if they're putting it toward the education, the facilities will be a lot
Yes. That was going to be my
better.
response.
The facilities will be a lot
better.
better. Those buildings, those classrooms, the
Off of
campus.
education, though?
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Because if we know that the alumni pretty much fund the school is, yeah, I guess it is education, because the alumni are the ones who are getting into these roles within their job. Yeah, it is education.
I mean, it's not just the alumni. A lot of these schools
A lot
are
of it
state
is.
funded,
Yep.
Yeah.
federally funded, you know, but you have to have an administration that's proactive that goes to get those funds.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you get them, you have to make sure they're appropriated in the right manner. All right, man. I was getting ready to laugh because I remember when Dion was at Jackson State, man, they showed one of the buses, like one of the vans. Man, the van had paint chipping off of it. It, man, looked like a van that you see, man, on Rigsby and WWI, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. And this is an
Yeah.
athletic van. You know, well, when you go to these other schools, man, like these jokers is rolling in 2023 vans. You know, they running around in sprinter vans or whatnot. Who's not impressed by that? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't think, and I see where Paris is going with it, because I would say the same thing, man. You know what? Everything shouldn't be about athletics.
Sports, yeah.
You know,
But it kind of is because we know that that's what
well, sports
funds a lot of
the
stuff.
stuff that goes on
Yeah.
at these universities.
Especially when you start getting national coverage, like
Right.
ESPN, like that's bringing in a whole lot of money to these schools.
Right.
So it is sports that is
Well,
funding a lot of these schools.
I'll say this, man. Not that Dion listened to me or nothing like that or whatever. And stuff,
Oh.
but if Dion
Dion,
was listening, I would say, Dion, we appreciate everything that you do, you know, for our community or whatnot. But at a certain point, you know, your actions have to speak a little bit louder than your words, right? He left an HBCU to go to a PWI. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost hypocritical.
He's
to
been a
say,
hypocrite.
Hey man, you know what? You guys aren't looking after HBCUs when in fact you also left for a better opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying that he still can't have the same impact, because guess what? In Colorado, it's going to be, most football teams are predominantly black. So it ain't like he's selling out or nothing like that or whatever. But when you're trying to bring attention to a cause, you can't leave that cause but still try to bring attention to it and be the face of it.
yeah.
You want to be the face of it, man. You got to be in the mud with these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, once again, it's like you can't say, man, I'm for my people, but you live with other people.
And that was that big controversy when he was leaving.
Right.
You leaving the HBCU where you talked about the facilities and
Yeah.
all this other stuff, and then you jump to Colorado
Right.
where everything is gravy.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that was a pretty good discussion.
Yeah.
With Dion and stuff. Oh, you know what? I wouldn't be right without saying this, man, because when we looked on that sports page, I can't remember the guy who made a post, and it was almost like kind of mocking the HBCUs. I don't know if y'all saw the post. It was earlier this week, and when he said, basically, black folks need to, and this is a black guy, black people need to stop sending their kids to HBCUs because HBCUs don't produce NFL talent. Now, and trust me, he got a lot of backlash for that. And I saw it going there and backlash him too.
He should have.
Because it was an ignorant statement.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the comments on there was spot on. They were saying, man, not everybody that goes to HBCU goes to play sports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That was another comment on here.
Not, people have different reasons for going to HBCUs and stuff like that or whatever. But I just had to get that on there, man, because I wouldn't have felt, I didn't comment on the page, but I definitely want to comment now. Listen, brother, don't put no post up like that no more, man. I mean, if you can't be positive and speak life into HBCUs, whether you support them or not, man, you know what I'm saying? Don't degrade them, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't discourage folks from going to HBCUs.
Right. And basically, you took a knock at the coaches. Them coaches got years of experience.
Right.
They got experience enough to coach some kids to get to the NFL. That was just an asinine comment.
All right, man. What we got on tap next, man?
Man,
Oh,
y'all,
NBA
thank y'all for
playoffs.
the man.
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
you
loving
talking
these
about the
comments.
feedback?
Yes,
Yeah, the feedback was on
it's
point.
it's on point.
I've been
like
trying to stay
y'all,
focused. I haven't been looking at the comments, but you've been bringing us in on the comments, right?
yeah, like there's been we even have let me see there because there was another one, Mr. Hatter, as you told me to.
Oh, that's my boy.
What's
man.
going on,
Yes,
Preston?
Yes.
Hatter.
Hey, I actually
My
stole.
boy
I
PJ.
actually stole. Look,
Good luck up there, PJ.
look. Matter of fact, yeah, I got to give a shout out to PJ Hatter's son, because he's at my alma mater,
Texas
which
State.
is Texas State.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm loving that. But I actually stole one of his quotes, and then I put it on there. It was about to, try to stay away from negative people.
saw that.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
they'll
saw
find
that.
a problem
Yeah.
for every solution.
Yeah.
So Hatter, man, shout out for that. You know what I'm saying? I have to
Yeah.
make sure I give you love for that, man, because that rings true every single day.
And your culture up there at Texas State is finna change.
Well, hopefully we get
that coach is gonna change
hopefully
that
we get
culture.
David Bailiff back. That's my old
Amen.
defensive coordinator, man. He got a
Amen.
lot of Bobcat pride. So listen, man, any of you kids out there that's getting offers to Texas State, man, hey, jump on that.
Watch them. Watch them
Watch
in the next
them.
2-3 years. I'm telling
Watch
you.
them. You know what I'm saying? So and if you're looking for a college to attend, Texas State, baby, Bobcat pride.
You got your future quarterback there now. Shout out, PJ.
He said,
My
"Stop
bad.
stealing this shit." That's what he said.
He probably did say that. And he probably got a
did.
drink in his hand with a cigar. But anyway, all right. So now we got to get into the NBA playoffs.
Ooh.
So look, let's make a prediction. I want everybody to get the NBA champion prediction. So Ariel, who you got? Who you think gonna win it all this year, man? Or who would you like to win it all? Who would you like to win, and who do you think is gonna win?
Watching what I've seen, I'll go one further. I think LeBron has something, a chip on his shoulder that's going to be proven that he's going to make it to the finals.
Okay.
He's going to play Boston, but Boston going to win it.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that in a minute.
Okay.
Tori, what you got?
Okay, so I'm not like sports guru or nothing. So Lakers, that's my team. So I need I need them. Hey, y'all don't just roll with it, all right?
Aren't they
Just
in Cancun right now?
roll with it. Who's in Cancun? Okay, Lakers all day. But I really want my Lakers to win. But
Since a little
yeah, LeBron. I have this gripe with AD right now.
And he just balled his ass. I don't know what he's doing
For
now,
the first time in how long? We've had this whole entire season. Like, don't get me started.
They talked about that. They talked about that on TV today too.
Yes.
He played 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
So now he gonna be on HR by Saturday.
Yes. Next game. The game is today. So I
That's
don't
what
know.
I said.
But
He's gonna be on
aside from
IR.
that,
He
I don't
gonna
know
be on
about all the
IR.
other teams. I just need the Lakers to win.
All right, so for me, I'm finna sound like a straight hater.
The crybaby. Thanks.
I'm finna be a straight hater right now.
We about to not be friends right now, Frederick.
Anybody except the Lakers. I don't want the Lakers to win.
Why?
Right? I just don't. I don't want the Lakers to win.
Yeah, that's hate.
That is
But-
straight up hate
That's hate.
because of LeBron.
It ain't because of LeBron. I'm not
You
a Lakers fan.
trying to prove a point because of LeBron. That's all. I'm feeling it right now.
Look, I don't want the Lakers to win.
Why?
Don't matter why. I just don't want.
It
them to
does
win.
matter.
All right. Now, who I would like to see win? Who I would like to see win is Miami. I would love to see Jimmy Butler get a ring, man. To me, that dude plays the right way.
He does play very
You know,
well.
and he just go. He
They
don't
had
really
a
do
shot.
too much talking.
They
He
had
just,
a shot.
He just, well, you know, I'm hoping that they pull it off.
Until he got hurt.
Jimmy Butler's hurt.
Yes.
Foul on. When did this
He
happen?
it just happened.
Ding, 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 ring me in. Hold on,
He
just watch
had,
the
he had a
game.
bad sprain in his ankle.
He ain't been
his
watching
Side of
the-
his,
No,
side
he
of his
finished.
leg
No,
went to the floor.
man, that joker finished the game.
Nah, bro.
He finished the game.
And you know how it is coming off a sprained ankle when you play the rest of that game.
No,
And then that
I
evening.
thought you meant like maybe I've just been under a
he's
rock somewhere. Jimmy Butler finished that game.
Yes.
All right, so he ain't
Finished
hurt
that
to
game.
me.
Okay.
So now,
Okay.
I would love to see Miami
Yeah,
win
Butler is
because
hurt.
of Jimmy Butler. I think he plays the
Yep.
right way.
He
He
does.
plays with a lot of heart. He plays with a lot of passion. He don't really do too much trash talking. He just goes out there and he does what he does, and he's very humble.
That's cute.
Yep.
Is he gonna play next game?
Yeah,
I don't know, y'all.
I'm
Y'all
pretty
answer
sure
that for us. Is
I'm
Jimmy
pretty
Butler
sure,
playing next game? I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah.
But what is the impact?
Hold on,
he's gonna have?
Jimmy Butler ain't Kawhi Leonard. He ain't Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy Butler gonna play. Now, if you ask me who I think is gonna win,
Wait. First,
Thank you,
I'm
Carl.
asking you,
Lakers
I'm calling
taking
you
it
out.
all.
Who is going to be in the finals, and then tell me who's going to
okay.
Lakers.
So once again, I said I would like to see Miami win,
win. Okay.
but I believe that it will be the Lakers and Boston in the finals,
As long as you know.
and I feel like the Lakers will win the NBA championship.
Why do you feel they're going to win this? Why do you feel they would win the championship this year?
I think AD will step his game up.
That's the reason they won't win.
No, I look, and I'm telling
with you there.
I think AD is going to step his game up. I also feel like the Lakers have role players that want to be role players. Austin Reeves, I don't even know these guys' names. I just turn the game on them, and they just play well together. You know, they don't
Sound like me right
They're
now.
not asking
I don't know who's
much from
playing.
LeBron. They're not asking LeBron to go out there and hit 50.
But he
All
is.
they want, he's not hitting 50. Right now, LeBron averages like 20 points
He's
a
going
game.
he's going to have to take over in order for them to
Well,
get the title.
I tell you what. If LeBron tries to take over, they lose.
I
They
think they'll
lose.
win. I think that he's gonna have to win this series.
I think LeBron just needs to keep doing what he's doing, facilitating, taking
Right.
the open shot when it's open. His jump shot ain't the same no more.
When I
you
say
know what I'm
taking
saying?
over,
He
I
never
mean
had a
doing the
jump shot.
facilitating, getting everybody else
Right,
involved.
right.
But if he does not do that, and you count on everybody else to do it, they do have role players, but those role players got to step up to another level for them to beat the Warriors in 7.
All I'm gonna say is, white boy Magic finna take it.
He can't ball.
Hey,
He
hey,
can't ball.
hey, you sound like a
can't ball.
you sound like a real white girl right there. You sound like a real Barbie right there.
I don't
Barbie
care.
Mills.
White chocolate, he finna get it. He
Now,
finna ball out.
They
Y'all
say
gonna be
Jimmy
like,
Butler will play. It says that
Yeah.
he will play.
Of course
He's
he
playing
is.
game
Of course.
3.
There's no way he's gonna sit out now.
No.
Legacy question. Legacy question. If LeBron James don't win this year, does that impact his legacy?
To me personally,
Yeah.
no.
So if he does win, does it impact his legacy?
Yes.
yes.
How? So how
Because
would it impact
either-
if he win, but it don't impact if he lose?
If he loses, if he does not get to the final, if he does not win it,
It's AD's fault.
what he did for this team at his age shows that he's a great player.
Oh, okay.
If he wins it, that just tells you right there that he's the man.
So, as long as you didn't say
Technically,
greatest
he's the
player,
man.
because he's not
No,
the
he's
greatest.
not the greatest player.
Okay.
No, not
We're on the
by
same
far.
page.
So let me get this straight.
Carl said no.
Uh-oh.
Let me get this straight, man.
I wish I had a drink.
Re-ask the
right now. That's
question.
what I wish I had.
LeBron has everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose. If he wins, oh man, he's awesome, man. He deserves all the credit. If he loses, no big deal.
Sounds like the LeBron.
I don't think
You know,
his
so-
status would change if he loses. To me, his status wouldn't change. He's still a great player.
He's
still
already
not
there.
the greatest.
Right, okay. So
Now-
I don't think any of us on the panel think that he's the greatest
No,
of all time.
no.
My point is this. Because of the fact that he's pretty much, y'all are giving him a pass and saying, you know what, if he don't win, it's no big deal. You know, we still consider LeBron to be great, right? Is he not one of the, well, maybe y'all don't think that he's the greatest player left in the playoffs.
I don't think it's a pass. I
So
think that's just.
let me ask you, do y'all believe that LeBron James is in the top 3 of the team players as far as all the players left in the playoffs?
The players
'Cause
that
I
are left
don't.
in the playoffs.
I don't, yeah.
Well, if you don't, then who do you consider the top 3? Who's your top 3?
Yes.
Okay. As far as individual talents, I'm still going to go with KD.
Yep.
All right. I
How
definitely-
old is KD?
I don't know. He looked 80, but my man, his hair looked 80. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure.
I'm just asking because Sam Stevenson said that no one has been great at 38. I mean, you got to put age. That has to be some type of factor.
That's a factor as well.
Okay.
I say.
So, but what is great at 38? You know what I'm saying? So
That's
is
LeBron.
haven't
Clearly,
seen it.
that's
That's
LeBron.
clearly LeBron.
Because he just.
So, but hold on. Is great at 38? Is great at 38 great now? And when I say is it great now, compared to what's great in the NBA now, where does a great at 38 rank? Because I can say, well, shit, ain't nobody been great at 48 and go get 2 points. Ain't nobody ever played when they was 48.
Well,
So
then
is
they
that
will be great. Yes,
No,
because
it ain't great.
nobody's been 48 and played, so you're great.
so
So
great
I'm
at 38,
great.
he got to win the championship.
No, I'm not saying he got it. I don't want him to win the championship. But I
Damn.
do feel if he wins a championship, you know what I'm saying, that's a great boost for his legacy. But
Yeah.
I also believe if he don't win it, it has to be detrimental to his legacy as well.
I get where you're coming from. I don't agree because if he loses, I'm looking at the body of work that he's done this season and how they were projected.
They were 500, a little bit over 500. They
A
was
play-in team to make it all the way to the finals.
and
That
lose.
wouldn't boost him.
No,
but I'm
it-
still,
it-
you
it-
were a
it would
play-in
just- To
team?
me, it would just show that the Western Conference was trash.
Ooh, okay.
It
That's
would just
that.
show that the Western Conference was trash. I
Wait,
mean,
but Steph? What about Steph?
well, I mean, Steph and them was what? What seed was
Yeah,
Steph
they
and
were
them? Probably
bad
like
too.
4 or
Lakeisha said
5?
Curry and Durant are in the top 3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh yeah. What did you say? You said KD.
I'm gonna
Who
say
else?
KD. I'm gonna say Curry, and right now I got to go with Jimmy Butler.
With Jimmy Butler. Okay.
You know, I mean, but and you still can't dismiss Clay.
Embiid.
Clay is balling. Embiid by far. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he's been out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when he came back,
Jokic.
they got destroyed, man. You can't, man. A Joker like that dude is phenomenal in his own right.
You ain't
You know what I'm
lying.
saying? But he
ain't
just
lying.
hadn't been there yet. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like I said,
I got
man,
a basketball question. I'm gonna take it a little bit. I got a
Herman, y'all
basketball
can have
question for
Freddie
y'all.
back. Yes.
We talking about the Joker. To me, does he remind y'all of a bigger, slower Magic?
well,
Look
not
at his
to-
game. He's just slower than Magic. He's not fast. He can't run up the floor and do showtime. But look at the passing. Look at the shooting.
Man, I'm gonna say not Magic.
Not Magic?
Because Magic had a little razzle dazzle, a little
Yeah,
flash
yeah.
with it. Magic has some pizzazz.
But Joker got them passes too. At
He
his
got good-
size,
right? I'm gonna say this. You know, Jokic is just he's technically sound. He's fundamentally sound. He makes a right play. When you watch him, he's not exciting to watch. You know what I'm saying? But shit,
he's the
I
Spurs.
mean, by the time the game is over with, you like, well, damn, how did this Joker end up
with 38 and 15
yeah,
and 10.
because you don't really see it, you know. But he's definitely by far, you know. I think he deserved to be up there in the MVP race again. But anyway, what's the comments, Tori?
Jeremiah said, "Not gonna lie, Mr. Fred really becoming an old head hater. He never liked present, always the past."
Listen, Jeremiah's the same guy that think the Cowboys are still America's team. He's the same guy that think LeBron at 38 is still 22. You know, so Jeremiah, listen, man, look, me and you done had these conversations offline. I'm gonna have to open I'm gonna have to put school back in session
Oh,
for
boy.
you, young buck.
LaQuisha, I was
boy.
just talking about skill level. He is not on the level of Magic by far.
Right, thank
But
you.
skill level. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Jeremiah said he a Kobe fan. Me too, Jeremiah.
I have
Just
to.
All right, so
Parrish was 43 in his last season, 96-97.
the Chief. She don't know. That's a big Chief.
Well, I
man,
don't know.
Robert
96,
Parrish.
97, that was...
Now Robert Parrish was 43, but Robert Parrish legitimately looked 80 years old, man.
Yeah.
That was a big
And
Chief,
and
boy.
moves
Hey,
like it, too.
they called him the Big Chief for a reason.
For a reason, yep.
That joke used to blow big.
Okay, so LeBron, Steph Curry.
LeBron, Steph Curry.
Who do we have? Who's better?
Right now,
Right now, overall stats, legend. You know how Stephen A was talking about who
overall,
would you put?
if you go by rings, it's Steph.
Oh,
If you want to go by stats, it's LeBron. But overall, I would say Steph. I would say Steph. It's close, but I would say Steph.
I can't answer that question until the series is over with.
Why is that?
Why?
If Golden State beats LA, and Steph is in there, and Steph does what Steph normally does,
Shoot his
then-
threes.
yeah, then I'm gonna say, well, you know what? Yeah, man, Steph. If LeBron can lead the Lakers past Golden State, then there's no way that I can put Steph above LeBron. Y'all mentioned the stuff about his age, so this is one situation where I would give LeBron the credit at 38, leading the team past Golden State. That's huge. That's huge. Everybody counted Golden State out against Sacramento when they went down.
Yeah.
Golden State is not an easy out. It's going to take everything LeBron has to will that team to victory. If he can do that, then to me, yes, it's easily. Like, yeah, man, at 38, LeBron has gone in and he has found a way. Even if he is not the main guy to do it, he still gets credit for it because he's the leader of the team. That's why I said if he wins, he gets all the credit. But if he loses, he deserves the blame as well. Now, once again, if they lose, then it's going to be easily. I'm going to say Steph because it's the it's the same thing for Steph because Steph will find a way to beat a very good Lakers team. Rob Pelinka, he made a lot of good moves at that trade deadline to put these guys in position because before that trade deadline, we was all laughing at the Lakers.
So we agree that the Lakers have the pieces to beat Golden State.
They do.
They do.
They
do.
have the pieces in place to beat Golden State. They've got to do it every night to come together. So what the deciding factor for me is, it comes down to who's sitting at the end of that bench, that head coach. Does Darvin Ham have enough to out-coach Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors?
No.
Come
Yeah,
on,
I'm
man.
sorry.
Look,
I'm
all
sorry,
right,
but we're
so
talking
listen,
we're talking basketball.
Listen,
No.
Look, Tori's like, no. Look, man. Y'all probably gonna hate me for this, but it's cool. I'm used to being hated. You know what I'm saying? So
You know you have David who walked into the building. So go ahead and say what you
Oh,
said.
Sheffield on
yeah.
that? Oh man, I knew he was gonna jump on that. The moment you say LeBron 3 times, he like Candy Man. He gonna show up. He gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? Now, come on, man. We all know there's only one reason why Darvin Ham was coaching that Lakers team. Man, you can't tell me that Darvin Ham was qualified to get that coaching job. I don't give a damn what none of y'all say. You know what I'm saying?
Sam said he's not even him coaching is not even the concern. LeBron's the coach at this point.
Exactly.
Yep.
There
Yep.
you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
so,
can he do it to beat Steve Kerr?
No.
With-
Look,
No.
I don't think he can.
even if the Lakers win, it's not going to be because Darvin Ham outcoached Steve Kerr. It's going to be because the Lakers players
Played their ass
outplayed
off. Mhm.
Golden State. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got to give LeBron credit. Got to give him all the credit if they win, because LeBron is basically coaching that team, in my opinion. Now, unless Darvin Ham, is, just doing something that's behind the scenes. But when I watch the game and I watch Darvin Ham, it's like he out there like he just got a
chilling.
courtside seat.
He chilling.
Chilling.
He's just out there.
From what, and exactly that from what I saw in this last game was, let's talk fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The switch that Steve Kerr made in the fourth quarter made me think that Golden State figured something out and they finna run these boys out the gym.
I don't think it's they figured something out. It's just that they finally
Steve Kerr figured something out. We are going to move the ball. We're going to run these boys off the screens. We're going to push the ball up the court, and we're going to make them tired.
they went back to how they always play. They just wasn't used to AD actually putting his head up and doing his job.
Well, no, look,
That's what that
AD been
was.
having a lot of block shots. But I think we all can agree on this. The Golden State Lakers series is really the most entertaining series
Yep.
in the NBA right now.
Yep.
Like, I mean, Miami and New York, that's decent. Philly and Boston, that's decent.
That one
Denver
could
and
be, but
Phoenix
it
is boring.
ain't shit, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, hey, so I think we're all tuned in. Matter of fact, as soon as we get off this show tonight, I'm hoping that I tune in and the Lakers lost.
You are.
Hey, can we get an update on the score? Somebody just
Yes,
shoot an
please
update
shoot
in the
the score.
response. Let me
Mills,
know.
I know you watching.
Uh,
Can you please give me the score for the game, please?
All right,
Because we
Natalie.
have a lot. David stepped in.
Man, tell David to go back and train some more. David just need to. It's still light enough outside for him to go get some heels in or something. Hey, David trained 8 days a week, man, 25 hours a day. So, but anyway, okay. So now we got to get into the main meat of what we do, which is youth sports.
I got set up for this one.
Yeah. So I guess it's safe to say that we got to put your boy on blast, man. He ain't even show up.
Let's
man.
go.
Yeah.
Hey, he was preoccupied.
Maurice,
And y'all got on me.
Maurice,
What
we
he
putting
got,
the APB out for you.
Y'all got on me. Okay.
Hey, next week, man, you better bring some goddamn food or something,
Food,
man.
chicken.
And then we ain't talking about nothing cheap either. We're going to put an order in, man. But anyway,
More like a sweet tea, a large sweet tea.
Anyway,
actually.
man, youth sports in San Antonio. All right, we need to finish up. We had a couple of topics last week that we didn't get a chance to discuss. So I think Tori's going to remind us of what those were.
Yes. So Stacy had sent in a bunch of good questions. The last question that she had was, what makes an org successful?
Ooh, that's going to kind of bleed into to my top 5, because I will be revealing my top 5 youth football programs in San Antonio at the end of the show.
I'm excited to hear this.
But I'll let y'all chime in on that.
Yes. So, what makes an org successful? Is it the development of the kids, or is it wins, rings?
Well, no, she asked you the question. You can't answer the question with a question. You got to answer the question.
Oh, that's a question for y'all.
No, we want you to answer the question.
Well, I gotta answer the damn question. I don't know. Development of all the kids. What makes an org successful? I mean, it depends on who you ask. Because if you ask a child, all the kids on 7U Outlaws now, they'll probably be like, oh yeah, we're successful, we won.
Right.
But if you ask a good coach, it could be just, hey, we didn't win anything, but I can tell you what, my kids know how to get into a 3-point stand successfully. Like, that could be a successful season. So,
Okay.
yeah, depends on who you ask.
So, Rob, DMF Ducks, all right. Although y'all have been around for many years, the organization is brand new, first year. This is a great question for you to answer because I'm sure y'all have set things in place to ensure that you guys have a great organization. So, what are some of the things that you guys want to accomplish in order to be a great organization this season?
To answer that question, the number one thing that comes to my mind, and I'm speaking for myself as VP, I can't speak for the president, is the development of the kids. When I think of a successful organization, I think, and I have to say this, hats off to my boy Fred, is the development of those kids from when they come in from flag till they age out. If my kids are learning the correct way to play the game, meaning sportsmanship, technique, grades, attitude, becoming a beneficial to the society as a citizen, then I have a successful organization. And the biggest thing for me is watching these kids I do a lot of watching high school games.
Mm-hmm.
So I see a lot of the high school players that I've seen in youth ball.
Right.
I mean, I've coached them, but I've seen them. But when you see those kids step on a middle school field and they can ball out in middle school, and then it progresses to high school, to where you see the progression from that child from 6U or 7U all the way up to there in the 8th grade, and you're seeing them in the 8th grade. And I put it like this. When you see them from 7U, and they step on the field in the 7th grade, and that player comes to me and be like, Coach Rob, I'm starting.
Right.
I had no doubt. Because he was taught the right way.
Right.
He wasn't taught, all right, we running left, we running right. I want you to run nines. They wasn't running just straight nines.
Right.
They're actually running patterns. They're learning techniques. They know what a 2 technique, 3 technique. They know all of that stuff. That, to me, if you can get a child to understand all of that, progress to middle school and high school, and you see the progression still going to where you see everything that you instilled in that child in youth football, he's not in trouble. He's on AB honor roll or whatever it may be. He's not causing no problems at home. To me, I'm so proud when I see them. And I'm going to tell you one that really stands out to me, and I got to give a shout to my boy, but AE, Anthony Evans. I watched him from his freshman year till he now at GA.
Right.
And the progression in that kid from then till now is definitely a testimony to what his coaches and his parents instilled in him. That, to me, is successful.
Okay.
Now, what about you, Mr. Davis?
Okay. So, for me,
As everybody's on the edge of their seats now, looking and listening now.
to me, the cornerstone of our success has always been great parents, right? When you're talking about dealing with kids, a lot of these kids reflect the attitudes of their parents. Most of them have the same commitment level that their parents have. Most of them have, the same initiative that their parents have, right? Now, not saying that it always translates into that, but the foundation of the Outlaw success was based upon committed parents that trusted our coaches. They allowed us to coach the way that we want to coach, right? That, in essence, allowed us to develop the kids, right? Because I don't give a damn how much you put an emphasis on development. If you have parents that are going against
Yeah.
what your values are and what your standards are, you're not going to be able to develop those kids.
Right.
Right? Because most parents nowadays tend to believe that they know what's best for the kids and the coaches don't.
They're gonna tear
Your
down.
coach don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him. You're doing it wrong. Do it this way or whatnot. So to me, if you want to have a successful organization, you got to start off with getting the right parents. A lot of coaches go after the right kids. But this kid's a baller. He's a stud. But guess what, man? His parent is a straight butthole.
Yep.
Man, his parent, she's a cancer. She's going to destroy everything that you embody. Oh, man, the dad's going to come around and he's going to, want to be a gangster, want to be a thug, all this other stuff, which is going to naturally conflict with what you're trying to do.
You finna ruffle
That
some
was
feathers.
literally going to be my follow-up question to you
ruffling
was
feathers.
with the caliber of parents today, with the team hopping, the all of that, are the orgs any less successful now because of the caliber of parents that are out there?
Well, this is what I'll say. For the short term, no. Because anybody can take a shitty situation and make it look good for the short term.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You may win a few games here and there. You may have a successful season. The true test is sustainability. How long can you sustain that success?
Yeah.
All right? Longevity.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of organizations that have come and gone,
Yep.
since I started. And once again, when I get down to my top 5 youth football program in San Antonio, you guys are going to realize what I mean when I talk about longevity. All right? Parents have gotten comfortable with going from team to team to team, right? So instead of fixing problems, they just move on and create another problem somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And we as organization owners and leaders have allowed that because of the competitive nature. We want to win so bad that we'll take in,
Somebody else's problem.
said kid,
Yep.
because they can help us win, even though we know it may be detrimental to
Yep.
the culture and the fabric of what we're made of, right? That's just reality nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And look, it ain't nothing wrong with leaving an organization. I'll be the first one to tell you, man, if it's not a good fit for
Right.
your kid, as a parent, it is in your best interest to move on.
Do what's best for
Find
your
coaches
child.
that love your kid. Find coaches that have confidence in your kid. Find coaches that have favor in your kid. You'll never hear me go against that. You know what I'm saying? I've had parents that have taken their kids and gone on to other organizations, and it's been with a blessing. Like, hey, man, yeah, you know what? Maybe coach such and such with us dropped the ball, or maybe that coach just doesn't find the favor in your kid that you see in him.
That you see. Maybe
and
little
that's a
Johnny's
part of
not.
the game. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't build a foundation with great parents, to me everything else crumbles. There are quite a few organizations in San Antonio, man, that have been one and done. You know why? Because they were built on bullshit parents. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying parents are basically the makeup of an organization?
I think great parents allow for organizations to be great. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how great the kids are, because they're still kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And eventually, that kid will become a reflection of their parents. It may not be
Absolutely.
today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It may not be tomorrow, but trust me, it's coming. You know what I'm saying? So, in order to answer Stacey's question, that would be my take on that. You know what I'm saying? You better start off with some good parents, some great parents at that, and then you work on the development, and then you work on the fundamentals, and then you throw the fun off in there, and then you mix in all the intangibles that only your organization can offer.
Right.
Because let's be honest, there are a lot of football organizations. What makes your organization unique?
Stand out.
What makes you stand out?
Boom.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Do you have a niche? Is there something that makes you unique? A lot of these organizations are copycats. They just bite, and that's an old school term.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But they just, they just imitate.
Yep.
what they see everyone else do. There's no
Graduated in
originality.
hold with no.
Biting my
I
style,
was
man.
I was
You know what
94,
I'm
so I'm
saying?
with you.
So, but anyway, that's hold on. You heard Rob kind of sneak that in there. I was 94. Say it loud and proud, bro.
I know
94,
biting
baby.
wood.
Yeah.
I know biting wood.
I ain't
Yeah.
the only old head up there, dog. We good, man. All right. But anyway, that's my take on that, right? So, if we move forward into today's climate of youth football, there's been a lot of great posts, in my opinion, on the forum. As y'all all know, that's why I go to get a lot of my content, man. I just troll that page, man. I just troll it, man, because there's a lot of good comments on there.
Funny.
There's a lot of bullshit comments on there as well, or whatever and stuff. But anyway,
Juanita said something that I really like. She said, you have to look at the kid's development. That kid might not get any playing time in offense or defense, but if you trust a coach, then eventually you'll see the growth in your child.
right.
And that,
So
yeah.
that's going to be my next topic when it comes to youth sports. And I really want y'all's feedback on this because development has become so cliche in youth football. Every post I look at, development, we develop. What actually is development? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody uses it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if your kid is sitting on the bench, he ain't getting developed, right? Or is he getting developed? You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like it's an excuse. Well, I ain't gonna even say an excuse. To me, the term development implies that you don't care about the kids. You only want to win. That's what these people are saying, Tori.
Right.
You guys are winning, but you guys aren't developing kids.
Oh, the reason for them leaving or having some
No,
type
I'm
of
just
gripe
no,
with the organization?
I'm just saying in general.
Oh, okay.
Because they're saying, although you guys are winning, and this is for winning programs, you
Okay.
guys aren't developing, right? How do you develop if you're losing? So to me, I'm just trying to figure out that fine line between what actually constitutes development.
Well, I feel like some parents use the development as an excuse for the losing. Oh, we lost, but my kids are developing because they're developing more than they're worried about winning. I've heard it.
That's a possibility.
I've
I've
heard
heard that before.
Heard that.
But to me, it's development, and this is me, is the style and the way that I coach is all the kids. Development is from 1 year to the next. I'm not a coach that sits back, okay, and you have those coaches now that are, I'm going to say it, they're obsessed with winning. So I'm going to practice my first team until they just tired. My other kids sit on the sideline playing with rocks or doing whatever. I've never been that. When we do position training, all the kids are position training.
Right.
So they're developing at that point. Now, your child at the first game of the season may not be ready to play in that first game, second game, third game, but he'll get in there because he's going to get a taste of it so he can develop.
Right.
By the end of the season, your child may be on second team. Shoot, he may have taken a starting spot because that's the way I like to develop kids. You have them that develop at different levels and at different paces. And to take a kid and you've seen them, those kids that come in and they're just scared, timid, whatever you may want to call it. But like you said, if you have a good parent who lets you coach that kid and develop him the right way, eventually those kids come out of their shell. And like I tell parents all the time, don't judge us off the first 3 games. Don't even look at us like that. We're still learning.
Start at game 4.
But when we start at game 4 and we get to game 7, you look at the difference in your child from day 1 to game 7.
Right.
And look how much he's developed.
So I had a mom last season who had this huge deal because her child didn't really get into the games like she wanted him to. And
No, that never happens.
oh,
It's coach's fault.
to call coach's
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
But she said, hey, my child needs to get into the game every game because that's how he develops. The kid develops when they're on the field, actually playing in the game, experiencing it.
Okay.
Well, the kid's not ready. Well, he's not ready because he's not playing enough.
Yeah.
Fred.
So, I mean, if I'm honest, this is what I'll say to that. For one, every kid is different. So I'll agree with
Right.
the parent and say, hey, man, not all kids learn the same. Um, but there's a difference between learning and developing.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn all day long, but still
Yeah.
not develop. You know what I'm saying? Um, kids don't. I don't feel kids learn during the game. I don't actually feel like kids get developed during the games. I feel like the kids learn and develop at practice. The game is the platform in which you show the development.
Skills that you've learned.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not ready for the field, 9 times out of 10, that's because you haven't exemplified what it takes during practice to hit the field.
Yep.
So I'll use driving for an example. I didn't go to driver's ed. Man, look, I got my driver's license when I was 18 years old. My mama said,
Me
you
too.
ain't got no car, so what do you need a license for?
Same.
Right? So when I graduated from high school, I took my little test,
Me too.
got my driver's license. I had to practice in parking lots. You know what I'm saying? Backing up, screwing up, getting yelled at, slapped, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Before I was able to get on the road. Now, could you imagine if my mom would have said, all right, there go the keys, just go get out on the streets and drive.
Be fucking up everybody's car.
Right. So why in the hell would a parent think that you can just throw a kid on the football field and they learn how to fucking play? It don't work that way, man. Somebody has to teach these kids, and they have to take the knowledge that they're learning and turn that into development to where it gets better. Although I know something don't mean I can do it.
Right.
Okay, I know how to tackle. You said, heads up, whatever and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I still may not be able to display that. You know what I'm saying? So it may take me some time before I can take what I've learned.
And all of that starts in practice.
All of that starts in practice. So once again, I don't fault these parents that are ignorant. And when I say ignorant, that's not the derogatory
negative way,
term.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It just means
They don't
lacking the
know.
knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I don't fault the parents that don't know. You know what I'm saying? But when you have a coach that's knowledgeable and has the wisdom to tell you, hey, mom, dad, this is the reason why little Timmy is not on the field.
Yeah, but we're wrong when we tell them, did you see your son at practice?
Well, half of them just drop the kid off and they skate
And they
off.
go to Walmart.
Right, you know
You know
what I'm saying?
But yeah, but we're wrong when we tell them, did you see your son at practice? Did you see how he can't tackle?
Well, it
Did
looked
you see
like
how
he.
he didn't
Well,
run the
it
play?
looked like he was doing everything right.
Exactly.
So, once again, I mean, to me, the term development has now become a catchphrase for recruitment. Every time you see a coach trying to get kids, they're saying, hey, man, we develop over here. We develop. All right? My thing is this, man. Nothing against that. To me, I believe development is subjective. All right? Your level of development may not match the level of development that I have set for my team. Anybody that's around my actual team that I coach knows that the majority of the games my kids play. The only games that my kids won't play in if they're not ready is a game that will end our season. I.e., if we get in the playoffs and your kid still has not demonstrated that he's able to compete with the best of what's on that field, he won't touch it. Period, point blank. So I'm telling all you parents now, if you want to bring your kids to play for my team, that's how I coach. I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm not going to lie to you and say, man, every kid will play during the regular season.
Yeah.
Because I will give them some OJT, on-the-job training, even if they may not be ready for it. Let me gauge to see how far away you are. Let me give you 5 plays and see what you do within those 5 plays.
That's just not your team. That's Outlaws, period.
Well, I implement that with
Yes.
every team. But once again, I'm talking about the teams that I coach personally. You know what I'm saying? But once we get to the playoffs, it's like, no, man, there's none of that. I typically don't have those problems with my parents because I'm very thorough from the very beginning of the season. And I lay out the expectation. You know what I'm saying? But once again, it's not about me. When I hear these coaches use that term development, we develop over here. All right, well, cool, man. You know what I'm saying? What are you developing? because y'all have the same issues that every other org has.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just kind of like, at this point, I'm almost tired of hearing coaches talk about development. Don't talk about it, demonstrate it. And if you are actually developing, the final product is going to be more successful than what you currently have. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, hey, man, that first 3 games, we may not look like much. Come game 4, now that these kids can line up correctly,
Right.
they're tackling better. You know, those drop passes in the beginning of the season, they're catching those now. You know what I'm saying? That's development. It's tangible. You know what I'm saying? It's not subjective. Shouldn't be subjective, but, you know, I just, you know, once again, man, soapbox for me, but I think a lot of our coaches in San Antonio need to focus more on the actual tangible part of development and not the lip service. I'm going to end with this when it comes to the development aspect. We had Willie Nelson on here a few shows ago, right? We have a 6U team. Yeah, Coach Marquise, don't get mad when I say this because, you know, he don't be wanting me to give out the secret sauce and stuff or whatever, man. But this is what we've been doing. Our 6U kids have been going and training with Willie Nelson every night. I mean, every Friday night. These kids have never played tackle before. Where they go and they have tackle sessions to learn how to tackle properly. To me, that's development. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to teach a kid something that they don't know. But there's no rush to put these kids on the field to demonstrate that yet. But we are hoping that when that time comes, that they'll have that experience so that they'll be more developed than the kids who've never gone through the stuff before. You know what I'm saying? So
and to piggyback on what you were saying earlier, when you say that about tackling, there's some situations where little Timmy can't get in the game because, to me, as a coaching staff with my experience and everything, it would be, quote unquote, too dangerous. It would that kid to go in there that is timid, doesn't want to tackle, that runs from stuff, to put him in there against a team that is just stacked. That, to me, it just don't make sense. You can't put them in there. Just like Fred was saying, there's some games that they're not going to play. Well, there's also some games that I'm not going to play your son. He's not going to start. He's not going to get in the second quarter. But if the game gets out of hand, or we see that the other team has some of their players in, and this child can fit in to get him some OJT,
Right.
oh, I'm putting him in there.
right.
Definitely he's going in there. But when that team gets out there and we're banging, and that little timid kid, I can't put him out there.
Right.
That little kid going to get smacked. And he going to cry, and that's going to hurt him to where he going to be like, Mama, I ain't going to practice no more.
Right. Becomes detrimental.
Yes.
James made a comment. Development is a tool for adding bodies to orgs, similar to recruiting. Development, when I see, that comes off as participation trophy mentality, but I could be wrong. Show it, don't talk it. I couldn't agree with that statement any more than what James has said, because it's 100% true in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be more to it than just a talk.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You just stated something that was paramount. As a coach, whenever you see an opportunity for a kid to demonstrate what he knows without putting himself in danger, you're going to take it.
Yep.
I.e., you see a team put in kids of that kids, put in their players that kind of match the ability of your player. Hey,
Go
man,
do your thing.
by all means.
Yep.
If you really want to know the truth, on the sideline, and you can attest to this as a team mom. Hey, come on, let Timmy going. Oh, no, sir.
Oh,
Nope.
man.
That number
And then
44 out there killing people.
and then the parents
I
think
don't-
that it's
I don't
on the
want no parts of
coach.
that.
Yep.
I don't want no parts of that,
They
mama.
see that
And the
camera,
parents
they're
don't
like,
hear that.
And the parents don't
and
hear
they
it.
blame it on the
Yes.
coach.
So then
I'm telling you.
when little Timmy gets in the car to go home, and the parents say, "Man, we pissed. We paid all this money. You didn't
You
even
didn't
get in the
even
game."
get in.
And you know what he say? They didn't want to
They
put
didn't
me
want
in.
me to put me in. It happens every school, every single time.
And if you are
Every
going to do
single-
some development, develop a relationship with your parents so that they understand what the expectations are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was a post that was made earlier this week and said, man, some of these coaches are recruiting kids simply because they don't want them to play on other teams.
Yeah.
I actually agree
Saw
with that.
Yep.
Jeez.
I actually agree with that, because some of these coaches just don't want to see your kid playing with someone else, but they don't want to take the time to develop them. But that's a shame on you as a parent type of moment if you can't recognize that. Some of these parents are so caught up with the fads and the trends and what's hot, you know, that they're blinded by reality. You know, some of these parents are so gullible, they'll follow anybody's agenda. You know, as long as it's nice, bright, nice, shiny, and bright. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that old school mentality. So I said my age on here purposely. I'm old school, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on here trying to be nobody's father
Daddy.
figure. I ain't gonna say daddy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't. See, Tori goes a whole different direction. I ain't trying to be nobody's daddy.
She realized it after she said it. Yeah.
Somebody be that misquoted.
I
Ain't trying
did.
to be our daddy and stuff. No.
Take that back.
Listen, I'm not trying to be any kid's father figure. These kids have fathers, right? Respect their fathers. You know, I just want to be a great coach and a great mentor to these kids. But I also want to be honest with their parents. And I feel that every youth coach should be honest with their parents. Now, we got about 10 minutes left, right? Do y'all mind if I give y'all my...
One more thing.
Go ahead.
I have one more question,
Okay,
too.
good.
One more thing I want to comment right there before you do. You just said that, and also with the coaches trying to recruit players to keep them away from a coach. And I'm a piss some people off, but
Oh boy, we like
piss
pissing
them
people.
off.
We like pissing people off.
you also got
yeah, piss them off, dog.
you also got the parents that are chasing scholarships.
What kind of
I'ma leave-
scholarships?
Where they kid,
don't
oh,
wanna
well,
pay.
you gonna recruit this kid? Oh, what you gonna do for me?
Oh, you.
Oh, he ain't gotta play. He ain't gotta pay to play.
Man,
We gonna
that
get
gotta
all
be
this
some of the
That's
lamest
gonna
stuff
be-
on earth,
That's
man.
we gonna go over there. Yeah.
Yeah, quid pro
There you
quo.
go.
Yep.
There you go. And that's it. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
They setting these
It is
kids
the
up for
truth.
failure.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Blaze.
They setting these kids up for failure, right? So let's say your kid does have talent, right? Does that mean as a parent that you aren't obligated, you aren't responsible for making sure that you're able to take care of their financial responsibilities? Like that's lame to me, man. You know what I'm saying? We all say we want the best for our kids, but you wouldn't be willing to pay for what's best for your kid.
Right.
You'd rather take your kid to, let's say, a lesser organization because it's free.
Yep.
You know, and for those organizations that allow the kid, I'm telling you, look, I got to say this. Nobody plays for free with Outlaws. Nobody. I don't give a damn who you are.
I wish I
You
would
can be a
find out
coach's
somebody
kid,
play for free. God dang it.
whatever. You have to pay. People hate me for that. Ah, man, Fred, you're all about the money. No, I'm about running a successful business.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I'm about
Say-
running a
say that
successful
again,
business.
Fred. Say
You know
that
what I'm saying?
again.
So if you don't agree with that, that's fine. There are plenty of organizations out there
Plenty.
that would allow you to come in, play for free, or maybe one of the coaches or the presidents or whoever will pay for your child. Right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, ain't no president paying for your kid. They just going to let them play for free. All right? So, in essence, what that means is all the other parents is really
Pay for
paying
your kid.
for your
Yep.
child
Yep.
or whatever and stuff. But anyway, parents, man, step y'all fucking game up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, man. Like, dude.
And I pissed them off a little bit. You about to take them to another level because you
man,
calling them out.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But it's truth, and that's the sickness of it with the youth football. It's there's other things that I've heard from other coaches, but I'm not gonna say that here. But yeah, you got them chasing scholarships.
Ooh, parents do better.
Yeah.
now, Tori, what's the one thing you had to get in?
What you had?
I just had a really quick question. Do you guys feel like, since everybody's, becoming a coach, making teams or whatever, do you feel like there should be more of an astringent requirement to be a coach? We don't
be a
get
coach
paid
or
yet to be a
start an
coach
organization?
here. No, just to be a coach. Oh, even to start an organization, yeah. Like we know it's a volunteer thing.
Okay.
Like, should there be more than just, hey, I played Madden and I know, I got this person's playbook, or I played high school football back when I graduated in '93. I'm qualified, type of thing.
I'll say this. I'll start, Fred. The Ducks we have a process that coaches will have to go through.
Okay.
With the experience that we've had, and I'm sure Fred has had it too, where you got these dads that sit in the stands, they come out, they want to coach, and all their focus is on their child or their homeboy's child or whatever. And as far as teaching the kids the game, they just don't have that knowledge to teach them the game.
Right.
Some of them have been great players, but they just can't coach youth football. So we do have a process that they will go through to, let us know, hey, this is what I can do, this is what I know. Okay, well, let's break this down. What would you do, such and such and such and such?
Right.
Just to try to kind of gauge the knowledge that they're going to bring to the coaching staff. That's what we're going to do. So
outside of a background check, I don't think that should really be too much emphasis placed on anybody that wants to volunteer their time, right? The one thing that I've learned in my youth coaching career is this: people can have as much knowledge as they want, but if they don't have the wisdom, it means nothing, right? So there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom.
I don't think everybody caught that.
Right. So, all
Hey,
right.
DJ Wiz.
Knowledge. Now look,
That was that 48-year-old wisdom.
Listen,
right
that's
there.
48-year-old wisdom.
You just
Not-
spit that. Yeah.
So listen.
Wow.
Okay, how many of you guys knew that a tomato is a fruit?
Oh, I did.
All right, so y'all know that, right? That's knowledge.
Right.
Right. But wisdom is not putting a tomato on a fruit salad. That makes
Right.
sense.
Have you ever tried a tomato in a fruit salad?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Yeah, it'd be nasty.
How do you know you never tried it?
'Cause, okay, it's a lot of stuff
I
I ain't never
digress,
tried that
sorry.
I know is nasty, Tori. You don't have to try every nasty thing to realize it's nasty, Tori. But
It
anyway,
tastes like fruit. Go ahead.
that's
Yes,
my
the
whole
wisdom.
point.
Yes,
There's
okay.
a lot of knowledgeable folks that want to volunteer, but they don't have the wisdom.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So once you start discriminating against these people, they'll never be able to turn the knowledge to the wisdom. So you got to give them an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because if they have the desire to learn, you know what I'm saying, then they can eventually turn that to the wisdom to be better coaches, right? I think one of the issues that we have in youth sports nowadays is everybody professes to be the best. Oh, I'm the best youth coach ever. I'm the best this, I'm the best that. And you're just like, man. So if somebody doesn't come in on your level, then you saying they trash.
Right.
Right.
But when you first came in, people was probably saying that you was trash or you didn't have what you have now. You know what I'm saying? So no, Tori, I wouldn't discriminate against anyone that had the heart and the desire to come in to coach. I would just try to guide them and push them in the right direction so that they can become better at whatever it is they chose to do.
Okay. And I asked that because some of these parents come full blast on these coaches who do, this is a volunteer job. And I'm just, these parents are just like, you don't do this. You don't know how to do this. And it's,
Yeah, they just, all they do is repeat what they hear other parents say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say if you repeat something enough times, they think it becomes true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
are we here for your top 5
Yes.
now?
all right.
Top
so
5.
now listen, understand this. Let me put the disclaimer out there.
I was going to say disclaimer.
This
Here
is
you go, folks.
this is my goddamn opinion.
Okay.
All right, so don't
All
start
right.
getting butt hurt if your org ain't in here or whatever. This is
Comments
my
finna
opinion.
blow up, Tori. They finna
I
blow up.
know. I'm here for it.
This
I'm
is-
ready.
They finna
This is
blow
Five-
up.
top-
this
oh.
is my opinion.
Okay,
Top 5.
one question. Does this include every single
This is for the
Nagiv,
entire
Gridiron type for all of them?
Every youth football organization in San Antonio.
Okay, got
All
it.
right, all leagues included.
All leagues
So once
included.
All
again,
leagues.
this
Top
is my
4.
opinion. All right,
about to
you don't
blow
have to
up.
agree with it. You don't have to like it. You're entitled to your own opinion.
I'm reading the
Right.
comments.
Me too.
All right, so
Me too.
coming in at number 5.
Oh, 5.
You're actually going to rank them 5 to number 1.
Yeah. And
I thought you were
my
going to say
opinion.
in no particular
No,
order.
no.
It's
That would
fluid.
that would be
This
no
is
fun.
Fluid.
That would
okay,
be no fun.
Okay, number
All right.
5.
James
Yes,
said
sir.
Outlaws.
So coming in at number 5,
5.
I'm gonna go with the Junior Hawks.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
with the Junior Hawks,
All
right?
right.
I think Sloan is doing a good job over there, building a program. He started that program a few years ago from scratch, right? I think he's made a lot of steps in the right direction. You know, what I would like to see the Junior Hawks do is step out and play a more competitive preseason. And I think that could eventually bump those guys up because he's in a great area, you know. But I like the movement that I like the direction in which he's going. So with number 5, I'm going to go with the Junior Hawks.
Okay.
All right. With number 4, now mind you, this is for the complete organization.
Carmen is posting them as you're seeing. She's at number 5.
I'm
So
putting them
number
together
4,
too. Thank you,
for
Carmen.
the entire organization. I'm going to go with NLAE. Right?
Okay.
It's hard for me to say NLAE, but it's just like, not that it's hard for me to give them number 4. It's just,
No,
I'm so
just
used to
the
saying
wording,
LA.
NLA,
I'm sorry, I'm
yeah.
used to saying NLA.
Yeah.
So NLAE, I would say at number 4.
Okay.
These guys have made tremendous strides since their merger, right? So when you took FCD, you took the Bad Boys, you know, you took some of those Seminoles teams,
Yeah.
and you put these guys together. They made tremendous strides, and they are really, really, really moving in the right direction, right?
Right?
You're right. They have some of the most competitive teams in the city.
Gotcha.
On every age group. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to seeing these guys continue to do that. They've joined Texas sports. If they can compete in Texas sports, they're going to jump all the way up. All right? You know, they can probably jump as high as to the number 2 spot.
Okay.
Right? If they do a great job competing in Texas sports. But they're still an up-and-coming program. And, you know, with the loss of Don Lowe, you know, this is going to be a very interesting year for them to see how they respond to that loss.
Okay.
You can't replace a guy like that, so
Yeah.
you have to find a way to work around that, right? All right. So number 3, this organization comes in, and they could have easily been number 2 for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and say number 3, right? Columbia. Columbia has been around
Years.
longer than I've been alive,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Over 50 years. I'm 48. They've been around since before I was born. These guys have stood the test of time, right? You know, I don't think there's a more successful organization when it comes to longevity and sustainability. They have their own facilities.
Yeah.
You know, these guys have not only football, but they have baseball. You know, these guys have a community that supports them. They have alumni from the NFL that come back and feed back into that program. You know, they got a Hall of Famer in Priest Holmes, you know, who came out of that program. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for me, number 3 will be Columbia, easily.
Okay, so let's recap. Number 5, Junior Hawks. Number
Junior
4,
Hawks,
NLAE. Number 3, Columbia.
Columbia.
Okay.
Number 2, I got to go with Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to go with Cornerstone,
I know
man.
that.
Watching Icy and Lamont, you know, former Outlaws, I got to mention that, you know, go over there and take that program over and turn it into an extremely competitive organization. These guys are playing tough competition in the preseason. All right, they play the Savages, you know, they play the Ducks, Southside Ducks. You know, they've gone outside of their comfort zone to play top-notch competition, right? Only thing I'm waiting for them now is to really step outside of that box and start playing on a national level. I
Yeah.
think that would take Cornerstone up
To the
a
next
notch.
level. Mm-hmm.
When you talk about facilities, second to none. No organization in this city has the resources that Cornerstone has.
Right.
Nobody. It don't even come close,
Yeah.
right? They've consistently gotten better. I think Cornerstone right now has, 8 football teams? Because they have really enough to do traditional and pure levels, right? So that goes a long way for me.
Yeah.
Right, so Cornerstone, man, keep doing what y'all are doing. Hopefully in the near future, man, we can get y'all out that sandbox to really represent San Antonio on a more statewide and nationwide level.
Shout
Right.
out Brent Holmes.
Yeah, yeah. So for number 1,
Number
we get a
1.
drum roll.
Do we really need a drum roll?
No, we don't, because our number one is
We
Outlaws.
need a drum roll for this, right? Miss Lala, if you could just put on the yeah. If you could just cue it up, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna show y'all. To me, the number one organization in San Antonio, San Antonio Outlaws.
Man,
Right.
what? If
Now-
you ain't playing for the Outlaws, who you playing
Now
for?
listen, y'all can say I'm biased. Listen, y'all can say I'm biased.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toot my own horn,
Toot toot.
right? As far as for the program. Regardless of what people say, people have taken shots at us. They've tried to deny us for our accomplishments. But last year was our strongest year in Outlaw history. We crowned a national champion. We took several teams to nationals, had a couple of runner-ups. We won AYF regional championships, and we won 3 gridiron championships. That is a huge accomplishment. No one's going to diminish or take that from us, right? There's no other organization in the city that stepped out on that ledge and was willing to take that on, right? One of the things that I think that makes the Outlaws the premier organization in San Antonio, we're not talking about statewide or even nationally, we're just talking about the city, is the fact that we are willing to take some L's in order to get better, right? Because the year before this, we took a lot of L's. In gridiron, the only team that was very successful in our program was our 11U, right? All that to say this, there are a lot of great organizations in San Antonio. So I'm not going to come on here and bash San Antonio like other folks do and make it seem like we don't have the organizations here that are great. We do. I just named 5 of them. The issue is all 5 organizations aren't on the same page, in my opinion. I'm not advocating for no league or nothing like that or whatever, or what have you. I'm simply advocating
For San Antonio.
for San Antonio to
Come together.
destroy the walls of the leagues that they're in so that we can start sharpening iron. We play Cornerstone every year. We play in LA every year. You know, Columbia, they kind of live in their own bubble. So you'll probably never play those guys. In
Who
LA,
do they
we
play
play those
then?
guys every year.
Who
They just play league play. And we would like to start working something out with the Junior Hawks. You know, and when I say we, I mean just in general, right? I feel as if the city can only get stronger once these 5 organizations start working together. Once again, I'm not advocating for a league. You know what I'm saying? I'm simply saying let's, whether it's have combined practices with each other, you know, jamborees, well, we can get all these organizations together, you know, to help advance a cause for each organization, right? Tri-County Titans, you know, almost made the list because I think regardless of what they do as far as record-wise, they are a strong organization. Plenty of resources, plenty of community support or whatnot. By the time the season's over with, I think I'll be able to add DMF Ducks to the list because I think you guys are going to have a great season this year.
Aw.
Right? I can't put y'all on there now because y'all ain't done shit.
Oh, definitely.
You know
Oh,
what I'm
definitely.
saying?
We gonna prove-
So,
we gotta
for
prove
all
it.
you DMF
Right.
guys, I don't want to hear y'all
Right.
talking about man Fred hating, man. Look, man, y'all ain't
No,
done
real
shit
talk.
yet.
Real talk. We
All
got
right?
it.
But
We
once
gotta
y'all,
go prove
once y'all get out there and put a body of work together,
it. Right.
you know what I'm saying?
thought you
I
said put
think
up some
that y'all
bodies.
can easily climb up that ladder. You know what I'm saying? You know, once again, this is my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's fine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm always open for a healthy debate. You know what I'm saying? If you think that there are organizations that I didn't name that should be on there,
Put it in the comments.
put it in the comments.
And this is not including spring workout. This is just
This is
from
just-
just period,
It's just period.
all around.
All encompassing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So when does this change? This list change?
Well, we got to get in
We
the
gotta look
season
back at it
first.
in the season.
Football season is
Alright.
right around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Here for it.
Some of these organizations have already started preparing for fall. All right. So, you know, you want to change my mind? Body of work got to show it.
But before y'all end, I'm gonna throw this tidbit in there, and then we can end it whenever legacy Lala. But I grew up with this man, same side of town, and when he started the org, and I told you this when you first started, the Outlaws, I was so proud of Fred and what he was doing, because the side of town that we're from, we didn't have much of that. We had the YMCA,
Right.
and we had the mentors and stuff that we had coming from the Y that helped raise us, because we spent all our time at the YMCA.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Fred brought in the Outlaws, and the impact that he had on the kids is what I always commended him on. I was always proud of that with him and with Jay,
Right.
what y'all were doing when y'all first started. And that's something that I've always, I love to compete against Fred. I love that altogether, and everybody says there are bad things about it, but when you look at Fred Davis as a man, that's exactly what these kids nowadays need. And I've always told him that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Let me say this, because I can't leave without saying this. The Outlaws we've always been a village. So
Right.
it's never been about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just a part of the success. When we first started, man, we had guys that come together from all across the city to embody a vision that a few of us had. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I continue to say, like, in order for San Antonio to expand, people got to come together. This Outlaws just wasn't singularly my vision. I had other people say, hey, man, what about this? Hey, man, let's try that, do this, and whatever. And we all work collectively to get there. Now, honestly, with the way things are going now, we're going on year number 14 with the Outlaws, right? I'm praying that we can be around as long as Columbia.
Yeah.
Man, I may be long gone, but I still would like the Outlaw name to continue to move forward, because I think it's a lot of positive stuff that goes along with that. With the way that these organizations are put together now, most of them are one and done, because once again, it's just,
Parents. Trash.
the vision is not there. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something bigger than the people running the program. And that's why I'm excited to even see like what you guys are going to do with Mauricus or whatnot, because that's a whole movement. That's a whole movement, man.
I just have one question.
Hey, but on the cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we're not finna keep letting y'all just promote, man. I'm finna start getting on
That's
y'all
what I'm
lives,
saying.
dog. Cause my people get mad at me. They say I'm too nice to y'all, dog. And that's
You
why I
come
wish
up in
Mauricus
here all
was here.
yellow and green.
Hey, I do.
We need to be better. We need to do better.
She talking about now. We don't.
Well,
we don't-
I will
listen,
be at
listen.
Vibe.
We-
Y'all
we-
need to come out to Vibe on Saturday.
On Saturday,
Make
yeah.
sure you come out there on Saturday night over there. See, we promote
Oh,
Vibe.
you know what? Real quick, Lala, can you put up my Vibe flyer real quick,
Oh, my
man?
goodness.
Hey, man, I gotta plug in my spot, man. We going $2 Tuesdays now, man. $2 well drinks all night. $5 you call it from 6 to 9. All y'all grumpy ass parents with bad attitudes, come out and get drunk, man. You know what I'm saying? Let the edge off a little bit at Vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Where
So,
are you? Okay.
Huh?
I just have one question.
Yes,
Mr. Martin, 35 years ago, did Fred have hair?
Yes.
I had a box, a hot top
A
fan.
box?
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah.
I was rocking. I
And
was
the beard
rocking.
too?
No, I didn't have no. I just got a beard a couple years ago.
And you can play a little football.
Yeah, I did a little
You
something.
can play a little football.
I did a
Quick
little
feet.
He was
something.
over there with the Eagles, but yeah, he played a little football.
I'm gonna label Tori as a hater.
What's the score?
56, 67 at halftime. Go
Oh, come on, Lakers. All right, I got to get
Broke your heart,
home.
y'all.
I'm hungry.
Now,
I need to. It's what?
Lakers 66, Golden State 82.
I knew it.
Oh, it's still not.
Did I do that? If we own, okay. I didn't want y'all to catch me. I didn't want y'all to
knew
get
it.
excited like
God
that.
dang. All right, y'all got anything else to say?
I'm good. I
Hey,
appreciate
look,
y'all having
tune
me.
in next week, man. We appreciate the support.
Yes.
You know, the
Thank
numbers
y'all.
look
All
good
those
tonight.
comments,
We got
that
a
was
lot
great.
of folks
Yes.
that are chiming in with the comments. Look, we love the comments.
Yes.
We want y'all to be interactive with us, man. So keep posting them comments or whatnot. We appreciate you guys tapping in with us. YouTube as well. We got a lot of viewers that's on YouTube, man. Jay, am I
Man.
right? YouTube is popping. Good.
Next week, Carmen, we're going to represent the Outlaws a whole lot better. Yes. Let's see. Dang thought he was bald. Jeremiah said that he thought you been bald all year. You came out the womb bald.
Look,
Okay.
I cut all my hair off in '93.
Carmen said.
I want to be
Carmen
like,
said she met you
like
with hair.
Jordan and Onyx. Y'all don't remember Onyx,
You
man.
don't remember Onyx? Slam.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lucretia
But it
said.
was more back to fuck up back when I was young. So
Yes.
She just
All right,
said what?
James. Thank you. She said that you better get in the gym. You better be
yeah,
vibing
I
at the
know,
gym.
man. Hey, you know,
Slacking.
I'm kind of pudgy right now. And I'm
Slacking. He got a little fupa too. Okay, guys.
look,
Appreciate y'all.
2 weeks and I'm back right.
Appreciate y'all.
Hey, we'll see
All
y'all
right,
next
y'all.
week. Thank y'all.
Subscribe, like, comment. What?
Subscribe,
What?
like,
Share.
He want to be
Share.
Jordan. He want to be Jordan. You want to be Jordan?
No, I said back in '93.
You wanted to be Jordan?
No, every dark
Bald.
skinned guy want to be like
Be like Jordan.
Be
And
like
you
Jordan.
messed up and shaved it and never grew back.
No, I don't want to grow back.
Oh.
As you can
Holla at
see,
y'all.
as you can see, this is what I rock.
Holla at y'all.